Hey guys, I got a new Titan build for you. I know I just trashed on Titans less than 24 hours ago, but I was talking about Prismatic Titan. Today I'm talking about the big, sweaty, hairy armed bears out there, alright? Big, hot, sweaty bears. And by that, I mean Ursa Furiosa Titans, meaning Void, baby. We're using Unbreakable because that sweet rework that I knew was coming since the initial reveal of the final shape, it's here. And it does the same old thing it used to also, which is still pretty good. So yeah, we're going to talk about that today. Also, huge thanks to Avanshi G. I have a discount code Spycer10. That'll get you 10% off. It'll give me a bit of money. More on that later. They got a big sale going on right now. So now let's actually talk about the build. Okay, the build, guys. You got to be on Titan. You got to be on Void Titan. Not Prismatic, Void. And how are we going to do this? Well, we got to have that Sentinel Shield Super. Not Twilight Arsenal, not Ward of Dawn, it's gotta be that Sentinel Shield. Now, you might be wondering, why are we using the worst super on Void? Calm down. Okay? Chill, calm down. I love Sentinel Shield, especially for Ursa Furiosa. Ursa Furiosa, whenever you block damage, it gives you super energy back. And that'll get up to 50% whenever it's said and done. So you are constantly taking damage, blocking damage from your teammates, preventing them and yourself from dying constantly. Plus, your teammates get a 45% damage buff. The Ward of Dawn on that thing is nuts. Now, in like GM or Nightfall content where it's 3 players, that's technically a net damage reduction from like Radiant or Weapons of Light from like a bubble. So, where does this make up? Raids, or just the fact that you're not dying. So if Well catches yet another nerf, which I don't think that's out of the question, Ursa will be right there waiting on you. But now it also works with the Unbreakable aspect, meaning that it can have another source of super energy. Unbreakable consumes your grenade energy, and you charge up a blast, and while that's charging up, you have a shield in front of you. You take damage, and the more damage you take with that shield, the more super energy you get for your Sentinel Shield. It's kind of crazy how it works. So, as a result of us using our grenade to do this, I chose scatter grenades because they have like the shortest cooldown on void grenades. And from how much I've played, I don't think it's a Bleak Watcher situation with Unbreakable. I think it is just actually the grenade's cooldown itself and not like, oh, it's adjusted, blah. I think it is just actually the grenade's cooldown. I went ahead and chose Shield Throw. That way on my gauntlets I could throw on Impact Induction. That way I could throw my shield, hit a bunch of enemies, get an overshield, and more grenade energy. Now, jumping over to aspects, of course, Unbreakable, it's like a very key part of this build. So what are we running as our other aspect? Now, if you're running harder content, Bastion is probably the better idea. Better idea than that even is either Well Warlock or Prismatic or Solar Hunter. But, if we're sticking the Void Titan here doing this build, Bastion is probably the better choice in higher end content. You're getting more overshields, your teammates are getting overshields. It's more survivability. But if you're not in high-end content, or at least not like, higher-end content, Controlled Demolitionist is really fun. And that's what I want to build this around, is Controlled Demolition, because it's a really fun aspect that doesn't get used as much as it should. So, Controlled Demolition, and with the fragments, we can piece it together to make it even better. And to do that, we're going to be using Cessation, which will make void breaches on kills on enemies that are volatile. Now, there's a whole thing about finishing off enemies and then they make things volatile. That's cool and all. You're going to be doing a lot of, making things volatile on your own just because of Controlled Demolitionist. So really it's just, making void breaches that we care about. Now, when you pair that with Echo of Starvation, you get Devour on a void breach pickup or an orb pickup. So void breaches are kind of not needed here, but they're a welcome addition, especially if you really want to place your barricade more because that class ability energy. Echo Persistence, so we have Devour for longer. And here's a key part that I have seen people get wrong. Echo of Undermining. Some people out there will tell you that Echo of Undermining will not work with Unbreakable. It does. It does count as grenades still. Like, everything that counts as grenade damage counts for Unbreakable. It's a lot like the grapple melee, how it counts as grenade damage and melee damage, except Unbreakable is just grenade damage. Even though it has a whole special thing to it, end of the day, it's still a grenade. So throw weaken on that, push up on a stronger enemy, throw it. If it's a champion, boom, they're weakened. Then you follow up with a way to stun them. Or they're stunned and you push them and then you weaken them too. Either way works. Now, our artifact mods, they do matter, but usually I kind of gloss over them in my build videos because, these things change, and I kind of like builds that, you can stick with, and, maybe they're even better in certain seasons. But we're picking up Elemental Siphon and Press the Advantage. They're just, nice for basic gameplay stuff. Void Homogeny gives us more overshield. Counter Energy, you stun a champion, you get some energy. That's a slapper right there. Expanding Abyss, Echo of Undermining. We're weakening things. We're pushing them up with the void weapons, killing them. And then Shield Crush will give us more melee energy when we have Void Overshield on. If a teammate has something that gives Radiant, which is very likely, that'll help us out too, getting our grenade energy. Now, when we talk about our setup for our mods, it'll probably be dependent on what weapons you're running. The exotic weapon I'm running in this build is Traveler's Chosen. Feel free to change it up. Pick a weapon with Demolitionist or Wellspring or both. There's a lot of great options out there. I picked Traveler's Chosen for a couple of reasons, though. But again, if you're in higher end content, I do not in any way recommend you use Traveler's Chosen. It's a fun exotic in lower level content. Get into higher level content, it just doesn't have the range to compete. The more stacks you get, the faster it fires, which slaps. It doesn't lose its damage per shot, I don't believe. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that. So, in that sense, it's good, but it just doesn't have the range to compete because it's a sidearm. But armor mod-wise, Harmonic Siphon, get that Void Siphon. I like Font of Wisdom to get my super back even faster. Or you could run something like Radiant Light, Powerful Friends, something to support your team more. Or you can run a Heavy Ammo Finder, and I'll get more into that later. For Ursa Furiosa themselves, Firepower, Impact Induction, Font of Focus, get that grenade back more often, and reward yourself for dealing damage with the grenade. That's the whole loop right there. Chest piece, damage resistance, damage resistance, damage resistance. Maybe you shove in a void ammo, like a void reserves. Maybe you throw that in there, and then you use Hammerhead kind of as your primary. Boots, Void Surge, Recuperation, just in case Devour is out. Which, Recuperation, probably not the play here. Actually, Orbs of Restoration, just fine. And then Innervation. Recuperation, not super needed in this build. Just because when you pick up the Orb, you get Devour, which will give you health. And Grenade Energy. So, actually, in this build, Recuperation probably not the play. But I'll leave that up to you because Devour is weaker on Titan and Hunter compared to Warlock. So, keep that in mind. Then, our mark, Classic Reaper, throwing in Bomber, Proximity Ward. Those are just nice kind of generalist mods. You could slot those in pretty much any build and not be totally wrong. So the way I ran this build was, something like Traveler's Chosen. It gives you get kills. Then, you're not charged in your super. You need to get out of a sticky situation. Use Unbreakable. That will trigger the Osmosis on Traveler's Chosen. So now it's a Void weapon, which will help you do a lot of stuff with Void Siphons, Void Surges, things like that. Get you a lot of basis in Void. Now, if you really want to double dip in that again, maybe you replace Echo of Undermining, losing Weaken, but you replace it with Echo of Instability. Or you could do that with maybe Persistence. Maybe you don't care about your Overshield or your Devour timers and you just want high damage. So you go Echo of Stability to give yourself volatile rounds to make things more volatile more often. If you're running Controlled Demolitionist, you really don't need to do that. But that is an option because Traveler's Chosen matches whatever you are. This season, it does have Unstoppable. But if you have volatile rounds, it will be anti-barrier if you don't have Unstoppable sidearm equipped. But yeah, Traveler's Chosen. Use your grenade. It becomes Void. And if you need it back, all you need to do, hold reload. It'll consume stacks, give you energy based on it. And then you can keep on going. Then maybe throw on like a Wilder Flight. High damage, Void weapon, really good. You could have auto-loading holster on it, which is a perk that if it's on something, I'm probably grabbing it because I am a lazy piece of shit. So Wilder Flight with auto-loading, great choice. Maybe disorienting grenades. Maybe you focus it purely on damage. It's really up to you there. And then if you don't have Wilder Flight, another great option would be Truth Teller, which coincidentally just got refreshed this season. So go get yourself a Truth Teller. It's not a bad grenade launcher. So yeah, Void Grenade Launcher, you know, they're great utility and they'll help you out a lot. Maybe you want to run something else in that slot that'll help you out where Traveler's Chosen has its shortfalls. Maybe a sniper or something. Heavy slot's pretty much up to you, but Edge Transit instantly comes to mind. It's just really good, okay? Edge Transit is a very good grenade launcher. Go do some Onslaught. Go get that thing. It's great. Now, maybe you don't want to run Traveler's Chosen. That's fully understandable. You're in a support role. You're supporting your team. You're trying to use abilities as much as possible. So maybe you have a really good Hammerhead role. The Origin trait gives you grenade energy on kill if you're on a light-based subclass. Commemoration, another Void machine gun. If you are a raider like me, you probably have a good Commemoration. The Braytech Inheritance Origin trait gives ability energy on hit. It's great too. So one of those two would be a great option in your heavy slot if you want to run double heavy. Then maybe you run a Hollow Denial. A repulsor brace on it would be great with this build because everything's going to be volatile, so you're going to get overshield like pretty much every kill. Pair that with lead from gold. Every time you pick up heavy ammo, which you probably have a finder or a scavenger or both on, you know, you get ammo for your special weapons as well. Pair it with like the call or a scatter signal. Probably like a scatter signal because it does pretty good damage still. And then you're pretty set. Like, that's not bad, especially if you're able to get your, I want to say mental stats, but your discipline, strength, and intelligence up. If you're able to get those stats up high and are able to chain abilities pretty well, it'll serve you well, especially since things are volatile. They're going to be taking more damage. So that may be something you're interested in too. It's probably the better play rather than Traveler's Chosen. I just said, oh, yeah, I haven't used Traveler's Chosen in a while. You know, let's mess around with it. Let's have a little fun with it. That's just kind of what this build is. Is it the greatest build ever made? No. But it's fun. And also, while we're talking about Ursa Furiosa, I just want to say one thing. Bungie, please let me actually shade the arms, okay? The fur does not accept shaders. So, if you have fur on other pieces of your armor as a Titan, you're gonna have to try to color fucking match the Ursa Furiosa arms. Let me be a big hot sweaty bear in peace, Bungie, okay? Anyways, that's about it for the build. I hope you have fun with it. Those are kind of more of the builds I run here. Just fun builds. Maybe not the best builds ever made, but you know, we're gaming, we're having fun, guys. And this is a fun build. I really like Sentinel Shield Titan, especially with Ursa Furiosas. Give it a try. Ton of fun. And also, you know, we're at the end of the video. So, you know, gotta like, comment, subscribe. Give me ideas for new builds that you're running, you know? What are you having fun with in the game? And also, if you'd like to become a channel member, 99 cents, that's all it is. Get early access to some videos. You get to help me decide what videos to make. Like, I'll make a poll every once in a while, like, hey, of these videos, what do you want to see most? That lets me know what you guys want to see better. And like, I'll do like some behind the scenes stuff and stuff like that. But, you know, capping this all off, if you are into energy drinks, Advanced GG, those gamer supplement powders, I got a discount code for you, Spycer 10 on Advanced GG. I got a referral link down in the description below. I do get a kickback from that. I do get commission from that. So if you use my code, my referral link, and you check out, I do get a percentage of that. But there's a big sale going on, and it's pretty good. So by the end of today, my code will get you 20% off your order at advanced.gg. Or advanced.gg. Sorry. I've been a huge fan of their products for actual years at this point. Big fan of, you know, their products. Some of my favorites, the guava berry. Huge fan of that one. The Rocket Pop, always really good. Mr. Fruit's Cherry Limeade, huge fan of that one. Pretty much you could bring up most of the flavors and I'd say, yeah, I like that one. So it's hard to find one I don't like. So yeah, 20% off June 30th. It ends. But July 4th, until July 4th, sorry, you can spend $30, get a jar, and you'll get a free jar of Rocket Pop Energy. Another one of my favorites. Advanced GG is great. I really haven't had an issue with it. Like, I get caffeine jitters pretty easily from, like, you know, canned energy drinks and other powders. But, you know, with Advanced, I haven't really had that problem, like, ever. I also have 3 of the ice shakers from Advanced GG, and I've had them for a while. They are really, really nice, and they have great designs on them, too. So if you're at all interested in Advanced and their product line, go check that out. Super great stuff. Please use my code if you do decide to check it out. And yeah, that should probably be it for this video. And yeah, thank you. And I'll see you next time. Bye.